Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm talking with Rose Namajunas, awesome girl who is taking on Michelle Waterson at UFC on Fox. This is a massive fight. So many people are really looking forward to this. What did you think when they gave you the opportunity for this matchup?
I was pretty much not surprised.
Yeah.
I thought that it's a great matchup,
Hmm.
that we're pretty well rounded as
Yeah.
mixed martial artists. We, both come from traditional taekwondo or karate
Hmm.
backgrounds. And I think we have a lot of common, but we're also very unique in
Yeah.
our own different styles and personalities and things like that. So especially just the way that we both beat Paige, I think it was definitely
Hmm.
both really exciting fights, and I think it just kind of was meant to happen.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because obviously that is a common opponent that you have, and for you that was a fight where I feel like in a way I can't remember because I remember being there, and I think people thought that Paige was going to win. Some people, and you really just put the hurt on her the whole time. And
Yeah.
Michelle went out, kind of the same thing. Michelle was coming off an injury and went out and put it on her. Yeah, how much did you learn about Michelle from watching her beat the same girl that you beat?
Um, I learned that, she definitely, you could tell that she was hungry. Like she
Mm-hmm.
definitely, that time off was good for her, I
Yeah.
think. She definitely also, uh, I think she was very direct in terms of like what her game plan was, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very clear and concise. You could tell she really thought it through, and
Yeah.
I think that I could take some credit in terms of exposing her a little bit in our first fight. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she just did pretty much um, what I did in the
Mm-hmm.
first round, except I think I had her in a rear naked choke, but it was all bloody and
Yeah.
wasn't able to finish it the way that she could. So,
Yeah.
um, except for obviously later. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's pretty good fight.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a big deal, obviously, when they give you guys a fight on Fox, and it definitely does appear that with the loss of Ronda from the bantamweight division, that the strawweight division is the marquee division for the women. Do you feel that way?
I think so. I think that the strawweight division has always been the most interesting.
Hmm.
Obviously, Ronda takes the spotlight,
Yeah.
when she was up there, but strawweights have always been there, and we've always been very exciting and
Hmm.
interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys definitely have, and there seems to be so much more depth to the division, which is why this is nice that you guys are actually getting this matchup. I know, at the top we know people already are matched up and stuff, and there's people that you have already beaten, and it's nice to see you guys in a fight that the crowd actually wants to see too, and it's a matchup that is valuable for both of you.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the only reason we're not the main event is just because, Demetrius Johnson is super awesome, but he's
Yeah,
also the champ, so he kind of takes precedence over us. But
yeah.
yeah, I think everybody's really excited about this matchup.
So I have to ask you about the fight with Karolina. It was a split decision, and it didn't go your way. What did you think at the end when they were reading the scores? How did you think that was going to get called?
I thought it was really close. I thought that you could make a case for either way.
Hmm.
At the same time, I personally didn't feel like I performed the way I wanted to, and so it doesn't really matter, when it's a close fight like that. It doesn't. I feel like kind of both people lose in the end,
Yeah.
just in terms of like, I don't know. I didn't do what I set out to do, and I also made some mistakes. So, to me, I would like to fight her again one
Yeah.
day, and settle the score because that definitely, or maybe not, whatever. But
Right.
it would be nice to reverse that because it definitely wasn't, you know, intended to be that way. So, and there was just a few little mistakes that I made, but other than that, I pretty much had that fight.
Well, I want to ask you about that then. So it's something that consciously you're in the moment, you realize it's a mistake you're making, or is it something about her fighting style that made you unable to do those things?
No, I kind of strayed away from what my like style was
Okay.
originally. Started experimenting with new things that I was learning, but I didn't give it. And normally, I'm so used to like learning something and then being able to apply it right
Yeah.
away that this was one of those cases where it needed to simmer a little bit more and it
Okay.
needed to be analyzed a little bit better. And there was just a lot of things going on, especially too with Pat not being there, and
Yeah.
that I feel like it had he been there and had like certain things been kind of in place, that would
Hmm.
have been a different story. But I'm glad that it didn't happen that way. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have learned those lessons. So, yeah, I'm just grateful for where I'm at right now.
Well, yeah, you always have a really good outlook on things that could be hiccups. You know, some people take them a little bit harder, and I know that, you know, you've gone through a lot in your life, but I feel like, and I'm asking you, do you feel like, yeah, that mental edge, that mental strength is an advantage that you may have over some other women?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if I have it over other women. You know,
Okay,
other women
sure.
are very strong as well. I
Right.
think. But I do feel like I have some very unique experiences that it's there's nobody in this division that I'm afraid of. You know what I mean? There's definitely a fight in itself is scary, and it's more I'm afraid of like, will I allow myself to be great? You know, and there's no other girl that's gonna intimidate me or gonna, um, rattle me or shake me up.
So what you brought up Pat, and obviously, you know, this is somebody that I've known a long time and who I just adore. You know, I think Pat is absolutely bonkers, and I love him for it. But you know, you did mention the fact that he wasn't there, and I do remember leading up to that fight, and everybody was wondering what was going on, and are they still engaged, and how is that going to affect everything, and what's it like with him not being there? If I know you don't necessarily want to always go into your private life, but it was there, and it
Yeah.
became part of the storyline. So of course we're all curious what the status is now and if he's with you in this one.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gonna be there this time. You know, our relationship, just like anybody else's, is crazy, man. It's and especially when you're working with so close to each other, like we're around each other 24/7.
Hey, I know what that's like. That other guy from MMA Heat, yeah, I actually happen to be married to him, so I know what that's like.
Yeah, you know what it's like. I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy, especially like fighting is such an emotional
Right,
sport, and relationships are emotional, and then
right.
a coach and a fighter. I mean, there's so many like levels to our relationship that there's not many people that understand it, and like, you're a unique person,
Yeah,
so you get it, but that's kind of the exception. But
right.
we make it work, regardless of a little hiccups here and there. But when we're on, and we're a force that cannot be messed with.
And I know you guys had a great success in buying a house. I know that was a big deal and that was a real life goal of yours. I remember you shared that video and everything. Yeah, so what has that been like and how, you know, I feel like that's obviously such a grown up thing to do. But what has that meant for you to reach that goal and get that achievement, that's something that you wanted so badly?
Yeah, it's definitely made my life complete. Like it doesn't. I don't want it to sound so cliche like that, but it's really like all my life I've really never felt at home. Like not only where I was born and raised, but then like being on the road, and not only just where I was born and raised, but also just in the country. Like I didn't
Yeah.
feel like I had family. All my family's in Lithuania. Like, oh, I didn't feel like I had any family where I was at immediately. And so all my life growing up, I felt like I was just on the run.
Yeah.
I just always like trying to get my roots settled somewhere. And I finally found a place I really like. I found people around me that I really love and that care for me and stuff. And then I finally was able to choose a place where I want to settle. And then after that, it took so long for me to find a house, but to in a place where I love and
Yeah.
around the people I love. So all that 24 years in the making has finally come true.
It's great. I'm really, really so happy for you. And you know, when you look at your social media, like you just said, it seems like the family you've chosen in terms of your team has been such a positive thing for you. So I know Heather Jo Clark is somebody that you've been training with a lot. So you're at Grudge, right?
So Grudge is no longer Grudge, it's
Sort of.
Genesis, and I'm actually with 303 Training
Okay.
Center. And Trevor is still my striking coach, but he's kind of like removed himself from the whole gym situation.
Okay.
Like he just focused on his fighters and his pad making and things like that in
Okay.
his company. But so I still got Trevor, Tony, and Pat as my coaches, but all of my training now is under one roof, 5 minutes away from my house. So it's
Awesome.
like literally it's so convenient. I just remember coming up, and I'm sure a lot of other fighters can relate to like going from this place to train to this place to train to do my sparring over here
Right.
to do my conditioning over here. It's like a lot of my training is also done at my house too. I
Right.
mean, I just posted a picture of me doing sparring rounds in my neighborhood or in
Yeah,
a
I
little,
saw that. Nice.
little grass area. So
Yeah.
I really am a homebody now. I've always wanted to be. It's been hard, but I'm really like 100%. Like I cannot wait to get back home.
Very cool. Well, and you know, another thing in terms of social media, I wanted to ask about. Obviously, well, I don't know. Did you, if We've talked about this before. It seems like there's always that pressure on the women to sell the sex appeal part of their game, as well as the fighting angle. But you have seemed to never really chosen to go out there and really put that part out and overtly do that. Was that a conscious decision to not do that, or because it doesn't seem like it's coming naturally to you if you do it. Not that you don't look lovely when you get all dressed up, but you can kind of tell you don't really feel like it too much.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things I don't really think about.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that like I've always enjoyed. I did a little bit of modeling growing up and things like that, but like I don't know. It just takes too much effort to post the booty pic.
Yeah. It does. It's a lot of
I don't
work.
know. I'm not opposed to be. I mean, I definitely like feel myself. I'm definitely like I think I'm hot and I'm
You
sexy.
are, yes.
I don't feel like I gotta like put it out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? But unless if it is like for some, for some type of marketing scheme, whatever. But I'm not really thinking about that right now. I'm really just enjoying fighting, and I'm really enjoying just being in my skin. And if those opportunities come up, that seems like the right thing. Yeah, I'll definitely, take that angle or whatever, because I can be, beautiful. I can be, sexy and stuff like that. But I don't. To me, I feel like what's the most beautiful is like not trying so hard, not trying to like the more effort that you put into it, I feel like the more it's like looks desperate and it looks like I don't know, not beautiful to me.
Right. No, I get that. Well, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't even trying to imply at all that you aren't, because you totally are. And that every time you come to Fox, everyone's like, "Oh my God, that girl's just gorgeous," And and that's the whole thing. And I feel like that's what your fan base loves about you, is that it is sort of like just out there, and you don't make that effort, because it's like you said, it's hard to keep that up. And we've seen what's happened with some women who have really tried to put that part forward a little bit more, and then maybe they're not winning their fights, and then what are you left with?
Right. And I think the most beautiful beauty is natural beauty. And seeing, like, just seeing the way things are in its most natural state. I think that's the most beautiful.
Very nice. Well, and one of the things, obviously a while ago when you cut your hair and you said, "Oh, it was just in my way when I was training," and it wasn't about that. But it seemed like there was a hot minute when you said you were trying to grow it out. So what happened? You just got frustrated because it got weird or something? Because I remember I feel like you put a video and you were like, "Yeah, I'm trying to see what's gonna happen."
I know I did try to do that a little bit, because I've never had my hair this short before, so like I would see some different stages and what it would be like. And I don't know, I was amused for a little bit, but it was like I still had to do still more effort to like it's almost like the same as having long hair.
Yeah. Sometimes short hair is more work.
You're not.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I remember in college, I cut mine all off. Like I had it was kind of like it wasn't like a kid and play flat top, it was like, but it was like that long, and I had it all buzzed, and it was very liberating, very liberating. But yeah, it got awkward. I'm not going to lie. It got awkward for a while.
I love hair. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It is what it is. At this point, it's like the trademark. It's Sideshow Bob, but it is what it is. So, when you do look at the other fights, I don't know if you saw last night, Cynthia Calvillo was fighting Pearl Gonzalez. I don't know if you were able to watch that one. But it definitely does seem like your division, as I mentioned before, has got so much talent in it, and people are really paying so much attention to you. How much longer do you think, how many more fights do you think you need before you could get a title shot? Because the Karolina fight, was an eliminator, and then she had her chance at Joanna. It didn't work. Andrade is going to be getting a shot, but how many fights more do you think you would need to get there again?
I don't think about that too much.
No.
I think that anything's possible, and I think that I go out there and perform the way that I've trained and the way that I know, and I believe that I can fight Saturday night. I'm going to get that title shot right away, or there could be one more. There's definitely a case that could be made. Things move around and stuff like that. Yeah. But I believe that I'll get the next title shot.
Nice. And you are staying healthy, obviously. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But it has been some time between your last fight. That was last July.
Yeah. Well, so July, then I took a little time off and did a little house hunting and stuff, obviously. Excuse me. And then I got an opportunity to go to Indonesia in November and through December, and I ended up buying a house at the same time, so it's kind of like all happening at the same time, and I took that month off, but it wasn't a month off. Like it was like people that like there was a lot of people that were thinking I was going on vacation. I'm like, no, I'm going to a third world country to build these houses and to learn how to build sustainable houses and things like that, and do manual labor, like not only try and help you know stop pollution going on in the world, but also just get some big muscles. And that's what I did for an entire month, and it was stressful. But then after I got back, I got moved into the house finally, and just got settled down a little bit. Then I had a month where Valentina Shevchenko came in town, and I trained with her and prepared her for her fight. That was fun and just, I don't know, exhausting. And then
she's good,
but it was awesome. And then after that, I made the case for, to fight Michelle Waterson, and here we are.
Nice. And did you know Valentina before? How did that connection come together with you guys?
It actually happened when one of my teammates, JJ Aldrich, who had her last fight in the UFC. One of the girls, I think it was Juliana Lima that she fought. I think she actually knew Valentina or something like that, and so my jiu-jitsu coach was talking to them after the fight, and one of the coaches was saying that they were looking to come up to Colorado to get acclimated to the altitude and stuff, and they were looking for gyms to train at, and we just made that connection. It just so happened that we were like, well, we got Rose, we got a facility, anything you need, and we at first weren't sure if they were going to train with me or not. They were just going to do their own thing and just use him and stuff, but I was just real persistent. I was like, my phone's ready. Anytime you need, I'm there.
And so, that's great. And she's so good. And obviously that's good for you to be working with a woman who's just a little bit bigger, but who has such a great skill set. I would imagine that you probably, had a great exchange of ideas with her.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's, just the mentality, the way she controls her emotions, and the way it's just a different level, it was definitely very inspiring for me to train with her, and I learned a lot, and I believe she's learned a lot from me as well, and that we're definitely really good partners for each other.
Nice. Has she convinced you to do any sort of Lithuanian dance after if you win?
Oh no, I can't look as cool as her doing it. I'm gonna go backflip or something.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Well, cool. So ideally for you, I know some people say, I just want to get a first round knockout. I mean, do you have a way that you would like to beat Michelle? She's the karate hottie. Would you want to outstrike her, or do you like to just get in there and lock up the submission that people love to see you do?
Not so much as the way that I want it, but the way that I see it happening is I think I'll get a first round knockout.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I just see it.
Put them hands on her. Awesome.
So I had a dream. I had a pretty crazy dream about one of my hands. So yeah, I think it's gonna be it.
All right. Very nice. Well, it's something to look forward to. Obviously, we know that this is so great because this is going to just be on Fox. People, not that you guys aren't worth the pay-per-view dollars, but it's going to be nice and free for everybody to check it out. So just wish you the best of luck and continued success, Rose. Thank you so much, and have fun out there.
Yeah, thank you so much.